Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, dozens of New England Papa Ginos locations abruptly shut down. Massachusetts-based pizza franchise Papa Ginos abruptly closed dozens of stores across New England on Sunday. Dozens of tweets reported Papa Ginos locations across the region closed Sunday. Reports from workers who were let go by the company indicated as many as 49 stores were shuttered by the company. The company, which previously boosted approximately 150 stores across New England, showed only 97 locations on its website on Sunday. 3 locations in New Hampshire, in Manchester, Portsmouth, and Nashua appeared to be among those. Calls to each of the 3 locations rendered the same recorded message saying the facility was permanently closed. Several D'Angelo locations also closed abruptly. D'Angelo's is owned by Papa Gino's parent company. Message to the company for comment were not immediately returned. A full list of store closings was not immediately available. The company recommended customers check its website to view open locations. The company, now based in Dedham, Massachusetts, was founded in 1961 when the chain opened its first pizzeria called Piece O Pizza in East Boston. In 1968, the company changed the name to Papa Gino's and started to expand throughout Boston. Papa Gino's Inc. is the parent company of Papa Gino's and D'Angelo Grilled Sandwiches. Person critically injured after front of restaurant collapse. One person was critically hurt and a second person was being evaluated at the scene after the front roof of Alstone restaurant collapsed onto the sidewalk on Sunday afternoon. Authorities said part of the roof of the common ground bar and grill collapsed into the street just before 3 p.m. The incident happened on Harvard Avenue near Bridgeton Avenue. It was not immediately clear where the victim was when they were hurt. The victim was transported to a Boston hospital. No update on their condition was immediately available. Photos from the scene showed the parts of the concrete facade of the building littering the sidewalk in the street outside the restaurant. It was not immediately clear what caused the collapse, but the area experienced heavy rain and strong wind gusts the day before. Authorities were looking for surveillance video that may have captured the collapse. First responders and inspectors expected to be in the area through Sunday night. And here's a photo from the scene. Take a look. The whole sidewalk is all covered with debris. And here is another photo here. And we will keep you updated if we get new information about what caused that collapse. Thousands without power after heavy winds hit Maine. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
This is called an LVAD system. It's a union between a natural heart and an assist pump. I can walk around with power packs in it.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Just over 39,000 people without power reported from CMP as of right now this morning. So definitely a lot of folks still dealing with those power outages. And not only did we have the gusty winds yesterday, but we had the rainfall too. And that even caused some flooding concerns. There was that one section of Bartholomew Street in Lisbon that was closed off because part of the pavement actually broke and caved in. It collapsed due to that water that was rushing in from that body of water that it's next to. So definitely a lot of things that happened from the storm, between a couple of trees that were down, limbs, things like that, and then of course the flooding concerns that we had been seeing. But luckily today, a completely different story, much quieter. Still a little bit breeze out there this morning, but not nearly going to be as gusty out there today as what we saw yesterday. So that is definitely some good news, guys.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. GA Dems cry foul as GOP governor candidate launches last-minute hacking probe. Let's take a listen to the video from ABC News.
Wrap up the perfect surprise with Ziploc.
S.C. Johnson.
Disney's The Nutcracker of the Four Realms, now playing, rated PG.
We're driving along I-85. It might be a race for the governor's mansion in Georgia, but this is one that the entire country is watching. In the red state of Georgia, where the fish is fried and the tea is sweet, the politics are about as bare knuckle as it comes.
This is a battle for the soul of our state, y'all.
We have an opponent who is an architect of voter suppression.
An historic race in a dead heat.
We are Georgia!
Partly because of Stacey Abrams, a 44-year-old Democratic leader in the Georgia House.
I'm Stacey Abrams, and I'm running for governor.
Who, if elected, would become the first black female governor of any state in U.S. history.
We want all of Georgia to see themselves reflected in my leadership. And yes, I'll be the first black woman to be a governor in the history of the United States. But what that also means is that I'm opening the door for the next person and the person after that.
President Trump captured the state by a little over 5 points. So here, it seems, the prize is much more than a government title. It just may be for the soul of the South, even as long-standing allegations of voter suppression swirl. The candidates themselves, polar opposites. For the Republicans, Trump backed Brian Kemp, Georgia's current Secretary of State.
I got a big truck, just in case I need to round up criminal illegals and take them home myself. Yep, I just said that.
He's unapologetically conservative, a staunch supporter of the Second Amendment, religious liberty legislation, and stricter immigration laws.
We are building a red wall right here in the state of Georgia.
Abrams running unabashedly as a progressive, advocating for LGBTQ equality, stricter gun control, and the expansion of Medicaid. There hasn't been a Democratic governor here in more than 15 years.
Yes.
But you, a black woman, progressive, can change that?
Absolutely. Because Georgia has changed over the last 20 years. Our votes!
For her supporters, Abrams' candidacy is bigger than her.
I absolutely think Georgia's ready for a progressive Democrat. I mean, this is the birthplace of civil.
Okay, and there you go on some of that video and that report. If you want to watch that full video, we'll share a link with you on the Riley King Network Facebook page. Georgia Secretary of State and Republican governor candidate Brian Kemp announced that his office opened an investigation on Saturday night into the Democratic Party of Georgia over an alleged hacking attempt of the state's voter registration system, according to a news release posted early Sunday morning. The announcement, slammed by opponents as a political stunt, comes just 2 days before a hotly contested governor election in which Kemp is facing off against Democratic Stacey Abrams in a race that has featured legal actions over Kemp's alleged efforts and use in office to suppress voters. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday night, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night, everyone. Bye.